I'm getting ready to do an art resin project here. This is the first time I've done this, so it'll be pretty interesting. It's a learning process. Artresin.com makes it pretty easy to feel comfortable with the steps of this because they explain everything and there's tons of frequently asked questions. But what we're doing is, these are 4 of my photos that I'm going to use as display pieces for a bridal show that I'm doing, and I wanted to kind of do something a little unique. I know that I haven't seen a lot of other photographers use pieces that are mounted behind resin or behind glass, so I wanted to give it a shot myself and see how it would go and how it would look. What I've done is I've printed out 4 of my photos. I have a Canon, the Pro 10 printer, and I printed out 4 of my photos, 13 by 19, which actually these finished sizes are 12 1/4 by 18 7/8. I made the boards that size so that I could trim a little bit of the photo off, so you have to remember to do that when you print, that you're going to lose a little bit of the border. So when you crop your images, make sure that you account for that. I went down to the local hardware store and bought 3/4 MDF. It's a really hard, dense board. It's really easy to cut, and I'm going to go over that in another video in another step. But I just took the boards, cut them down, and painted them with indoor-outdoor paint. And then I used a spray adhesive to spray the photos, and I just used a very light coating of the spray adhesive because when the art resin is on these and we've bonded it to the edges, that'll also help the photos adhere. So we've got another thing that I did is I went down to the local auto parts store and I got one of these mixing cups. They'll give you these for free, any of the parts stores that mix paint. And this has different calculations for 1:1, 2:1, 3:1. We're only interested in the 1:1, which is what Art Resin, that's its mixture, as 1 part of the hardener to 1 part of the resin. I'm actually not going to use that. What I did was I used the calculator on artresin.com and I put in the measurements of my photos, and then it told me how many gallons, and then I used Google to convert the gallons, which was 0.06 per photo, into ounces, and then I just multiplied that by how many photos I had. So now I know exactly how much I have to have for these 4 photos, and it's going to be almost a completely full cup when it's all said and done. Half of hardener, half of the resin. Now we're going to go ahead and mix this up, mix it up thoroughly. Make sure that it's all completely combined. I believe that artresin.com says 3 minutes mixing is a good amount of time to make sure that you're completely mixed up. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with this black and white image, and I know based on my graduation here on the side of the cup that I'm at 24 ounces now, so I need to have about 8 on this photo. So I'm going to stop and be checking to make sure that I don't have not enough or more. So, and another thing that I forgot to mention, but that's very important, is that I checked all of these photos to make sure that they were perfectly level, because if they're not completely level, then your art resin will run off one direction or the other and you'll have a big mess. Alright, that looks perfect for this one. Now we're going to use the spreader and we're going to spread the art resin out to the edges. And I've decided to use the method where we just coat the edges with the art resin. You can use plastic or silicone on the edges to keep your edges completely clean, but I wanted them to be covered with the resin as well, so I'm just going to go ahead and let it drip off, and then I'm going to use the gloved hand to make sure that it gets evenly spread on all the edges. Alright, so what I'm doing now, I've got it all smoothed out on the top. Now I'm just taking a gloved hand and I'm rubbing the edges. I'm rubbing the resin into the MDF board because I want to coat the sides. And this actually poured so perfectly that I don't have a lot of drippage. So I'm actually collecting a little bit of what fell on the table, and maybe even get a little bit from the container there to rub into the edges. All right, we're moving on to the next photo. That one came out great. It's come right out to the edges. I'm not using the torch yet to get out the bubbles. I'm going to wait until I finish all of them and do it all at once. Time for the last one. The other two have turned out really great. I haven't gone on to using the blowtorch to pop the bubbles yet, but now I know I have exactly the right amount in this cup to finish this photo. So we'll just pour it on. All right, so now it's on to the blowtorch time. We're going to remove all of the bubbles. This is just an old torch that I have, but they sell little torches at like Hobby Lobby and stuff for crafts. So. Okay, so they're done. I got all the air bubbles out. It still seems like it's reacting a little bit, so every couple of minutes I'm just kind of coming back with the blowtorch. I don't even know if you can even see it. That's a little air bubble, but I'm just been, as they come up, hitting them with the torch again, and it looks absolutely amazing. So there you have it. There's Art Resin, and then we'll come back when it's all completely done and set up and show you what we think. Okay, so here is the images that I decided to do, or these are the ones that I've done so far. I have about 3 more that I'm going to do for this bridal show that I'm doing. So like I said before, these are 13 by 19 printed on a Canon Pro 100 printer. And then I mounted them, I cut 3/4 inch MDF and mounted them with spray adhesive and then art resined over them. And I think they really turned out amazing. It really made the colors pop, and they came out, I think, fantastic. It just gives like a whole nother dimension to the photos. I can give you a little example. The color difference. This is an image that I have printed, but it's not art resined yet. So you can see how it's gonna it's just a little, I mean, it's still a beautiful image. The print turned out amazing, but just the amount of depth that you get in the photo is just completely different. Follow Art Resin's videos. They tell you everything that you need to do, all the steps to take, precautions to make sure of. Also remember that have lots of light. Like I used video lights. I already had some. If you're a photographer, you probably already have some. If you're not a photographer, just some type of fluorescent light. It really allows you to see the little bubbles and stuff that get stuck in the art resin, so that you can take it out before it hardens. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments section, and I will get them answered as quickly as possible. Thank you.